Sophie Cunningham tried to recruit Caitlin Clark to play overseas. Sophie Cunningham says she attempted to lure the Indiana Fever star to Project B, the high-paying overseas startup. Caitlin Clark has said before that her sole focus is the Indiana Fever. And despite Sophie Cunningham's best efforts, that's still the case. On her Show Me Something podcast, Cunningham admitted she personally attempted to get Clark to join the new overseas startup league, Project B. But she struck out. "I tried to get her to play in Project B," Cunningham said. "She was like, no." And Clark's response isn't surprising. What exactly is Project B? Project B is the newest high-paying option in the expanding landscape of off-season women's basketball. Founded by former Facebook executive Grady Burnett and Skype co-founder Jeff Prentice, the league will include 6 teams of 11 players, play traditional 5-on-5, and run from November 2026 through April 2027. Players will compete in tournaments across Europe, Asia, and Latin America. The startup promises big money, with salaries reportedly starting at $2 million annually. That's far above the WNBA max salary and dwarfs Unrivaled's 2025 max of $220,000. So it's not a shock that a growing list of WNBA stars, including UNBA president Nneka Ogwumike, Alyssa Thomas, Jonquil Jones, Jewel Lloyd, Camila Cardoso, and Cunningham herself, have signed on. Cunningham revealed she turned the league down twice before signing, explaining she eventually joined after learning more details about access to top treatment, charter flights, and more. "I think the people that are running it are just good people," she added. "What a great time to expand my brand globally. I get to play year-round, which will help me stay in shape. I'm hitting my prime." But Caitlin Clark doesn't need a startup league. Project B may pay millions, but Clark is already doing just fine. Clark is one of the highest-earning female athletes in the world, reportedly pulling in $16.1 million this year from endorsements. Given that income, her decision not to take on extra wear and tear overseas makes perfect sense. Why risk injury or burnout when you don't need the money? And as Cunningham correctly pointed out, even the players jumping to overseas leagues still ultimately depend on the WNBA to maintain their real value. All these leagues are great, but at the end of the day, if you don't have the WNBA, you don't have the platform. So you don't have the eyes. You don't have the recognition, she explained. Basketball Hall of Famer Sue Bird echoed that sentiment, stressing that many endorsement deals require WNBA participation. What gets lost when it comes to the WNBA is playing in America, being able to capitalize on endorsements, which now is a real player for these players, Bird said on her Touch More podcast. A lot of these contracts. Now, it's not that you can't create a new type of contract, but I know my shoe deal. I had to play in the WNBA to get my money. So, a lot of the ecosystem that we live in as Americans, playing in the WNBA, revolves around playing in America. That's a massive factor for stars like Clark, Aja Wilson, and Angel Reese, arguably the league's 3 current biggest names, all of whom have major sneaker contracts tied to their stateside visibility. The new WNBA collective bargaining agreement still looms. All of this is unfolding while the WNBA and its players' unions still haven't reached a deal on a new collective bargaining agreement. The deadline was recently extended another 40 days, and the uncertainty has already put expansion drafts, free agency, and future roster building in jeopardy. With the 2026 season hanging in the balance, nobody knows how the WNBA landscape will look in 2 years. But one thing is certain. Caitlin Clark will be just fine. No matter what leagues pop up or how many millions they offer, the biggest star in women's basketball is staying exactly where she wants to be.